This is the Constellation Alpha grip from Virpil Controls, as well as the WarBRD Base. These are custom-made joystick parts from Virpil Controls, and they are interchangeable, meaning that you can mix and match different bases and grips. Virpil currently make 4 different grips, plus a left-hand variant of the Constellation Alpha, and they make a desktop-based base, which is the WarBRD, as well as one that is designed to be underslung under your base, that has greater resistance and is designed to be used with extensions. The connector is exactly the same as the one found on the Thrustmaster Warthog, and that does mean that you can use Warthog grips on Virpil bases, as well as Virpil grips on Warthog bases, albeit there are some limitations to the controls and buttons you can use in that configuration. The WarBRD base is 100% metal and is very, very well engineered. The internal mechanism in particular is beautifully machined with springs and cams. It has interchangeable springs that allow you to alter the resistance to either increase it or decrease it, and you can swap out the cams, which changes the way that the joystick feels as it travels through its axes. You can increase resistance at the extremities, you can accentuate or decrease how noticeable the center of the axes are, and the Constellation Alpha is made from plastic. Feels really great, feels really premium. They could have opted for metal here if they wanted to. That would have made the grip much heavier, would have made it top heavy. It certainly would have added to the price as well. It features a metal locking collar, which screws down really nicely. So that's a metal collar onto metal thread, so there's no risk of cross-threading here. It also has some small screws that you can screw down with an Allen wrench that just give it that extra level of stability and stop the grip popping off the base. There's no creaking or give anywhere to be found. All of the buttons feel really, really good. There's no travel or wobble anywhere here at all. It's got a huge array of buttons, including 3 4-way hats, all with a push, 1 2-way hat, again with a push, 3 momentary buttons, as well as a 2-stage trigger. It has 2 triggers on there, the first of which can be pulled back twice and also activates the button behind it. That first stage can also be flipped up out of the way if that's helpful as well. You've got a thumbstick, fully analog thumbstick with a push and a rotating wheel, again with a push here too. It's also got an additional brake axis that is a full digital axis, but it can also double up as a switch depending on your preference. The stick feels great as it moves through its axes. It feels really natural. It doesn't have that overly accentuated bump in the middle that you often find with ball and socket joysticks. It frankly feels how I would imagine a flight stick in real life would feel. You've got that great mechanism acting as a counterbalance underneath, and it just feels like an incredible experience. It really is a significant upgrade over something like the X56 or the Thrustmaster Warthog. Depending on which cam is installed, you can increase resistance at the extremities of the axis as you deflect the joystick further and further, and of course that would simulate a resistance moving over the control surfaces of the aircraft. It features a very ominous looking hood at the top of the stick, and that's nicely accentuated by an RGB hood. That's not too garish, that's not too in your face. It complements quite nicely the premium look and feel of the stick. The controls are very, very precise. Because you've got that increased amount of deflection and range, it allows you to make more granular controls through the joystick itself, and I immediately noticed an improvement to my gameplay within Elite Dangerous. It does also feature a yaw that does feel more snappy than the stick, but it does seem to complement it quite nicely in both DCS World and Elite Dangerous. I found myself using the yaw and the roll in combination very naturally. Actually, I didn't have to think too much about that. It just felt very intuitive to do that. Yaw can be locked off by screwing down a screw at the back of the grip using an Allen wrench. I feel like Virpil have really understood what the customers are after here. A no compromises premium flight stick and base that's going to last you for many, many, many years to come. It's particularly well suited to VR users because of the wide range of buttons and hats, etc. on it. Whether it's DCS World, Elite Dangerous, or Star Citizen, this is frankly the best that you can get. I've knocked a point off of it because of the price. Again, I made the same comment on the Virpil throttle, but it's the best that you can get, and you do get what you pay for. It's a very, very solid 4 out of 5. So there we go, guys, the Virpil Constellation Alpha grip and WarBRD Base. As always, I hope you're really well wherever in the world you are. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one.